Hello, my dear luckiest Taurus. This is your horoscope for 2024. Happy New Year and welcome to 2024. One of your happiest years, let's say. I mean, not the happiest. All of them should be the happiest. What I mean is that luckiest, because let's start the horoscope with Jupiter, the planet of luck, planet of fortune, transiting your sign, my dear Taurus, in your first house. This will bring Jupiter, will bring to you expansion, luck, fortune, happiness, joy, and Jupiter, whatever it touches, it expands it. It makes it beautiful. It makes it happy, fortunate. So here it is in your sign, in your first house until May 26, 2024, and it has been transiting your sign since last year, May 2023. So it's already or probably giving you a lot of gifts of the destiny, especially those gifts that you never expect, and you are somehow more, let's say, having luck in life. And Jupiter is this, our big angel of the universe. So you should be, guys, very happy that it's transiting your sign. But you still have 5 months of 2024, and if you haven't gotten anything yet, then just prepare yourselves, because Jupiter will for sure give you, each of you guys, the biggest gift of the universe. And maybe a few wishes may come true. When Jupiter transiting in the first house, it indicates that any area of your life basically can be fortunate for you. In whatever area of your life you have you hold your dream, you have your biggest dream dearest to your heart. That dream may come true, or might have already came true since last May. So and the Jupiter in the first house, it means that fortune arrived to you, so you can ask basically anything. Dream big, dream global, my dear Taurus. Because with Jupiter, there is no other way around. Jupiter is a planet of expansion. It gives you more and more and more positivity, luck, and happiness. You might also, Jupiter in the first house indicates maybe you may become popular. Let's say if that's your wish, to be popular and to have fame. Let's say to be famous, it can give you, or it already did since last year. Or Jupiter in the first house might also, you might have met someone very special. It also indicates your true love, that you maybe now you think that that person is your true love, or it will happen in the next 5 months. It also indicates that Jupiter in the first house, maybe if you wish that job, that position, I don't know, to go to that company, maybe you're already there, or you will get there. Because Jupiter, this angel, it helps us in whatever we put our mind, it pushes us. And also, Jupiter in the first house indicates maybe you got nominated for a prize, or you will get nominated, or you move to another country. Let's say that also means Jupiter in the first house, because Jupiter planet itself indicates all things foreign, all people foreign, languages. So maybe you moved to another country, you immigrated. Jupiter, brought you there on its wings to, let's say, to a different location than yours. Or if you are at that age, maybe you got into university, or you will. So these things might have happened to you or will happen. And also, as a small plus or big plus for some people, Jupiter will give babies. Maybe you will get pregnant, or you might have already gotten pregnant, and this year you will give birth, become parents, let's say. Let's see what Jupiter is doing after 26th of May. Jupiter moving to your second house. Wow. Now, this is also the stellar position. Second house is your financial house, dear Taurus. Second house is the house of money. So Jupiter coming here, it expanding this house, it bringing luck, bringing happiness. So you might get that job. I feel that you might get that job. Or you already it will happen, sorry. So after 26th of May, until Jupiter will be transiting your second house until 10th of June 2025. So you have whole year where you will get very, let's say, lucky, fortunate about money, your earning skills, your earning ability. You might get that dream job, you might get promoted twice, even the luckiest ones. You might get salary rise also twice. You might get because you will start earning, let's say, hefty money, your self-esteem will grow. Second house is all about self-esteem as well, your abilities, because of those abilities that Jupiter will shower you, your self-esteem will boom as well. Second house is also about expensive purchases, like house or car. You might, buy a car in summer after, 26th of May, or a house. And that house will be the house of your dream. Second house is also house of values. Maybe you will switch your attention to family or to kids, and you will find more joy, more expansion, and you will if this is not about money, then this is about your values, what you value in this life. Those things will come up to you as the happiest, the luckiest, and fortunate for you, and through them you get more joy, let's say. Also, Jupiter in your chart in general rules your 8th house. 8th house is another financial house. So definitely, here might be the situation that, for example, last year or in the next 5 months of 2024, while Jupiter was transiting your first house, let's say you met someone special, and that someone after 26th of May will be helping you financially, let's say, or some sort of kind of funding also might come from governments or scholarships, because Jupiter rules your 8th house, and 8th house is the house of other people's money that comes to you. So your newfound partner or even your established sweetheart might get, let's say your spouse might get lucky or earn more and will be sharing with you as well. You will be both then the happiest. In general, Taurus, my dear Taurus, Jupiter is showering you, golden glitters. So use this time. Okay, let's move to Saturn. Saturn, on the other hand, is the planet. It's the strict teacher of our universe. It's the planet of lessons. So Saturn, wherever it is in your chart, it shows where we're gonna learn, some lessons. It likes to a little bit like bring stress. But whatever will happen, just know one thing, that it's always for good. Saturn also the planet of restrictions, planet of discipline. And, wherever is Saturn positioned in your chart, that area will be highly, let's say, the area where you will have to do every day, let's say, routine. Some things based on routine so that you can get some results. And also Saturn, the planet of taking responsibility. Saturn sobers up, us, and it doesn't like any easygoing ways. It likes to take step by step, everything, taking responsibility, to be responsible. Also Saturn, planet of work and distance and a little bit coldness, let's say. So let's see where Saturn will be transiting this year for you, dear Taurus. Okay, it will transit your 11th house whole year, 2024. 11th house, what is it about? 11th house is the house of friendship. So here, Saturn coming to your 11th house might, your friendship circle somehow, might become smaller or restricted somehow. You might, let's say, decide to stop being some club member or friendship circle member, let's say. And it's not because, for example, you decided so, some Taurus will decide so, or some of them, for example, like you met let's say, someone special because of Jupiter, as I said, and you don't have time, like you simply don't have time for friends, and right now, let's say your priority is your sweetheart, partner, or husband, or spouse, even if you haven't, wife, and you just simply don't have, let's say, enough time for friends like you used to have, because Saturn coming to your 11th house, it actually already... here in your 11th house since last year, March 2023. So since last year, you've probably already been feeling these things, that it is kind of where it's coming to you. It will a little bit restrict your friendship circles. And also Saturn is the planet, it will show you, let's say, true faces of your friends. It will show you on what grounds you stand with your friends as well. But some of them, are they loyal? Are they true to you? These kind of things can come up as well. Also here, or just maybe Saturn will make it in another way, like restrict the communication with them. Let's say your friend simply moved to some other country or to some other continent, and you are not, let's say, as before, so communicated with that friend, and you will be over time losing, let's say, communication with that friend, and it won't be the same, as before. Simply could be that also, and from there also distance and a little bit coldness can occur there between your friends and you as well. Also 11th house is the house of big communities. It's the house of internet, is our global house, online house. So maybe your presence on internet, online presence, somehow will be limited. It could be, for different reasons. Maybe you decide so, that you don't want to spend so much time online and you want to go out and do some other things, let's say in real life. Or it might be just that internet is not working, or somehow you might lose, let's say, access to your social media. It might also happen for some time. Or if you are, let's say, still a social online present, then you might get like less followers, or there could be some amount of people who will unfollow you, let's say. Because Saturn is making everything smaller, whatever it touches, limited. So that's why it might happen as well. Saturn can give in 11th house these kind of things. Also, Saturn is the house of future. So this year, or already last year, you felt something like, you lost maybe sense of future a bit. You kind of lost what you're going to do next. What is your step? What is your what are your goals are? And you could have been feeling these kind of feelings because Saturn can give this stress a bit. Like, let's say, where to move, or maybe you just also felt that there are limited choices in life in terms of your future, like what to do. Also kind of this kind of, feelings could come up. during Saturn's transit in your 11th house. About the friendship, also because Saturn is the planet of stress, there might be some stress between you and your friends as well, or one or two friends. Well, anyhow, it's all the transit will pass and everything will be fine. And just give yourself time, dear Taurus. Okay, let's talk about Pluto now. Pluto's game is, long-term game. So here, I would like to mention that Pluto is the planet of, transformation, planet of change, profound change. It is the planet of, it's a subtle planet, and its influences are very subtle. And also, it's the planet of big money. It's the planet of authority and authoritarian people by nature and by profession, let's say, like and all sorts of governmental structures are here, like banks, police, tax, that has a little bit like pressing feature, and Pluto's transit this year will be one of the main transit of this whole year because it will move into your 10th house for 20 years, my dear Taurus. Yes, for 20 years, it's not a joke. From 20th November. It will actually already position itself this January, around 20th January, in your 10th house. But in September 2024, it will move back to the place where it was for the last 15 years, for 2 months, retrograding back. So we call this retrograding, moving backwards, just for 2 months, so that you will be probably finishing some things there up. I will explain you in a bit. And it will come back to your 10th house on 20th November for 20 years, for good, And 10th house, what is it about? 10th house is the house of career, house of job. So here, my dear Taurus, in the next 20 years, and just so that you remember, Pluto's influence, you will be feeling, you will start noticing it maybe only in around like 5 to 10 plus years, like after. So Pluto will unfold its game only around that time. 20 years is not so fast. So here, my dear Taurus, maybe you will start a career that will be building up all those 20 years. And you will find yourself after 20 years so high, because 10th house is, the highest house. So on the clock, it's, let's say, the 12 o'clock afternoon. So the highest point, let's say, of our chart. And Pluto position in your 10th house might give you a very high profile, let's say, career, and you're going to build it, my dear Taurus, and you will find yourself in all sorts of very high profile like positions, jobs, companies, and especially it could be, your business or something related to banks, to police, to tax authorities as well. Might be in those kind of area you will find yourselves, and yeah, Taurus can actually treat money very well, so it will suit you for sure. Also, 10th house is the house of social status. Social status, maybe, you'll get married. Your social status changes. You will become parents. Your social status changes again. Here, Pluto might give a lot of, different sorts of scenarios, or you might divorce as well. So your social status might rise sky high because Pluto is very authoritarian planet and then the big money planet. So if you build a career, and your social status will rise for sure with, let's say, a big pocket. 10th house is the house of your father, let's say father's life. And in your father's life, there might be big changes happening in the next 20 years that will affect you as well. Also, Pluto is, the planet of influential people, and who has big money, or who rules the big money, manages the big money. So in the next, 20 years, probably you will be meeting, or you will be working around this kind of people. Let's see what Pluto was doing for the last 15 years before coming to your 10th house. It was transiting your 9th house, my dear Taurus, for the last 15 years, since 2008. Yes, first time it moved to your 9th house back in 2008. So since then, you can maybe reflect on how this area of your life changed. I will tell you what is it about this 9th house. 9th house is the house of travels, let's say. 9th house is the house of education. 9th house is the house of religion, higher mind, searching for a meaning of life. So here, Pluto might have given, maybe you lived in a foreign country, let's say. But now Pluto is moving out from your 9th house, and maybe you will go back home. Let's say you will move back home, or to another country again. You lived in one country for 15 years, and for some reason you will say, it's enough, I'll go back home. Or you will have to move to another country for some any other reason, like because Pluto is coming to your 10th house, maybe for some job, because you got some very high profile job, very nice job with a big salary, and now you're going to leave your country and move to another country. It also can happen, might happen. Religion, 9th house. For the last 15 years, maybe you've studied religion. You changed a lot in this topic. Maybe you've changed your religion a couple of times. It might also be possible. And now you will just say to yourself, like you will, you will stand your ground, and you will finally realize what is for your religion, and let's say which religion you would like to be, involved in. This kind of topics can come up as well. For the last 15 years, they already were in your life. But now you are in 2024, these 2 months of last transit in your 9th house of Pluto retrograding back to your 9th house, you will be finishing up some things with this area of your life. that I'm mentioning about just right now. Ninth house is also legal cases. You know, those legal cases, if you started something, let's say some legal battle 15 years ago, it might now finally be closed, get some decision. For sure, I feel you that it was not easy to have any legal battles, because it was hard to fight. Pluto here gives like authoritarian people. Maybe your opponent was a very, let's say, difficult to deal with. I feel you guys, but now it's finishing, so now you can be released and happy, because Pluto will move out from ninth house and it will be much easier. Or if something was like you know, some legal case, let's say, was already 15 years at work, now it will get a closure. Also, some sort of legal affairs and documents as well here. Any documents. Maybe for the last 15 years you've been dealing with some kind of documents that you couldn't find, or it was lost somehow and you are restoring some documents. Now it will finally be at your hand. You will finally get the results as well, because Pluto will be leaving your ninth house. So this was your last 15 years. And next, let's talk about eclipses a little bit. Eclipses are our elevators, it's like a lift, you know, of the universe. It's a rocket ship. Eclipses happen because of the lunar nodes. And lunar nodes are these mathematical points in the chart in the sky that there are two, and they're always opposite to each other, situated. And because of these lunar nodes, eclipses happen. These eclipses like elevators, like a rocket ship. They push you to your better future, because you know, we people tend to be, let's say, slower in some sort of decisions, you know, making decisions, making that step, going out there, and eclipses come and they usually push us to deal already with the situation. They give us already the result. They usually take from us whatever already doesn't serve for us and it's not good for us anymore, whatever is holding us back, and everything will be faster in whatever area of your life that eclipse is happening. So they usually bring us that push which we long needed, let's say. And you should not be, you know, scared of. And it's a very let's say good that they are it's a very good tool of the universe actually to move forward our life. Okay, and eclipses, they show where you know, because of this, eclipses show where life-changing and fateful events will be happening in your life. So let's see where. North node, one of the lunar nodes, will be in your 12th house. Second node, south node called, will be in your 6th house. So 12th house and 6th house, you know, this axis is the axis of service to others. It's about work, it's about everyday routine, it's about eating habits. And here, maybe you will be changing quite dramatically, you know, your, let's say, routine. If you've been like whole life working during, let's say, day shift, and now for the first time you will move to the night shift, let's say. Also, eating habits. Here is good because they will show us what is bringing us bad to our body, let's say, and you will be releasing those things. You will be changing your eating habits. Maybe you will start eating healthy, or you will just decide to be vegetarian or vegan, you know. These kind of things can come up. Also, it's about work. Your work might change as well. You might change your work, your job, what you do, totally to a different area. Let's say you've been in tourism, but now you will be doing, I don't know, politics, or you know, you will find your, let's say, passion in hairdressing or makeup artist. So quite dramatic change can happen here. Also, this axis is about mental health and health. So here, if something come up with, you know, to you regarding your health, I advise you not to ignore it and go for checkup. And here they will help you to restore actually your health and mental health. They will show you where is it hurting in your body, what you need to be paying attention to, you know, what you have to go and check up, what is actually urgent, but you've been like ignoring it or just not noticing it, you know. Also, these houses are about spirituality. So maybe you will get interested in astrology or numerology or tarot, let's say. These kind of things, subjects you might get interested, or psychology as well, psychiatry as well. Did I say it correct? I'm not so sure. Maybe you will get really seriously interested in these subjects. You know, when lunar nodes were in my 12th house and 6th houses, I got very seriously interested with astrology, and that's what actually brought me here. And another thing what happened was that my dream came true, like the biggest dream of my life, and came true. But it was not related, of course, to astrology, but something else. These kind of things might happen, you know, to you too, my dear Taurus. This axis is also a very private axis, you know, it's about privacy, it's about isolation. Maybe, you know, you will spend this year, you will decide to spend on an island, you know, or in a hospital. Not like for some serious things, but let's say for just treatments, some kind of treatments to boost your health, immune system, or to go to retreats or religious trips, you know, to some kind of places of power, like those places in Mexico or in Tibet, you know, these kind of things might happen to you. And lunar nodes here already since July last year. my dear Taurus. So since July, most probably you've been already feeling these things, and it will be more this year. Also, this axis is about pets. If you have pets, then it might be about them. Some things, about their health, about their eating habits might be routine happening. Or if you don't have pets, maybe you will get one or two. And lastly, it's also about, this axis is about loss. Here is good. Why? Because you might lose weight. If you have this kind of desire, eclipses can bring you this much efficiently and faster. You will find the right nutritionist, let's say, right doctor, the right eating habit, diet, and all the stuff. Like it might for sure help. Let me tell you when eclipses will happen. In 2024, we are having 4 of them this year, and especially those dates will be most important. And around those dates, all these things that I mentioned to you might happen. So take notes. First eclipse will happen 25th of March, lunar eclipse in your 6th house. 6th house is about health, eating habits, routine, pets, and job and work. You might change your work. Something about health might come up. Something about your pet might come up, and your routine might change. The topics that I mentioned here. Second eclipse will happen 8th of April, solar eclipse in your 12th house. 12th house is about treatment, retreats, isolation. Maybe you will go to some trip, let's say solo trip, or maybe simply you will buy your first tarot cards. It might also, that will give you profound, change or understanding, or you might decide to become, to go in this area and study. Third eclipse will happen 18th September, lunar eclipse in your 11th house. This eclipse will conjunct Neptune, and Neptune is the planet it's a dreamy planet. It's a planet of fog and a little bit some confusing things, let's say. It's a magical planet. It's a planet of magic. And here, my dear Taurus, in your 11th house. 11th house is the house of friendships, house of social media, communities. Some things might not be clear around this lunar eclipse, because lunar eclipse will bring you something to light about your friend or about your online friendships, friends as well. But I suggest you to give some time, few days here, so that dust from the eclipse will settle, and because Neptune will be fogging everything here, and your mind and whatever information will be coming to you will be confusing. So give yourself time here. And 11th house is also house of big dreams. Maybe you will get invited to speak in front of a lot of people, because 11th house is the house of big people, a big amount of people, masses of people. And also 11th house is the house of big dreams. Maybe one of the biggest dream may come true here, because Neptune is the planet of magic. This can play out as your dream came true. This is amazing. Please write in the comments if some things that I mentioned will be happening in your life. I would appreciate it a lot. And plus, okay, and the last eclipse will happen 2nd of October, solar eclipse in your 6th house. Here again, in around 25th of March, it's about health, it's about work, it's about eating habits. Maybe you will change again here your job, because considering Jupiter will be transiting your 2nd house, you might get twice promotion or twice stellar job offers, around this time, that will pay you great money. Okay, let's talk about Mars a little bit. Mars is the planet of action. It's our drive, it's our engine, it's our motivation. This planet, because of this planet, we do some things, it pushes us. So Mars this year, unfortunately, will retrograde, but at the end of the year only, starting from 7th of December in your 4th house. When Mars retrograde, here might be some drop of energy, drop of motivation, drop of some kind of activities. So less kind of motivation to do anything, less drive, and retrograding means moving backwards, But planets don't move backwards, but it seems so. But the influence is that they, might be like that. As I said, a little bit less motivation, less drive, less wanting, let's say, to go out. And retrograding in your 7th house, last month of the year, 2024, is in the 4th house. 4th house is the house of family. Maybe you will be busy with you might be busy with doing some documents, family related, or again, applying for family to some visas as well. Some kind of family errands going to be running here. Also, 4th house is the house of real estate, and you might be, here building or buying, actually. Or your 1st house, let's say. Retrograding in your 4th house, it's about also mother's life. Your mom might be, might have been doing some also errands, documents that will need your attention as well, your participation. And 4th house is the house of citizenship, residence permit, let's say, immigration. Here, it might be a little bit delayed, or you will be, reapplying to citizenships, or if you've been waiting to immigrate somewhere, it might get delayed. So just wait until 2025. Let's talk about Mercury, our little planet of communication, signing contracts. It will retrograde. Usually it retrogrades 3 times per year. During Mercury retrograde, because it's the planet of communication, it's not advisable to buy any technical or electrical appliances. Totally not advisable to do plastic surgeries, because then you will redo them, or the results will not be kind of satisfying for you and you'll have to redo them afterwards. Also not advisable to buy expensive things like house and car. You might find, better house or car with a less price afterwards. Not advisable to start any new business. Also not advisable to sign any contracts because Mercury is the ruler of contractual agreements. It's all about communication, right? So writing, speaking, reading. So here it's not advisable to sign any contracts, important contracts, because then something will be missing in that contract, or something will not be so clear, or you will have to add some clauses at the end, or re-sign them again. So just be ready. If you have to sign during this time, just be ready that you will do it again in the future. Okay, let me tell you the dates when Mercury will retrograde, and those things should not be done, let's say. First retrograde will happen from 1st April until 25th of April. So pretty much whole April in your 12th house. 12th house is the house of isolation. It's a private house. So here, if you will be traveling to some kind of far islands or some retreats, be mindful about, tickets, about the timing. Don't forget your passport and just, a little bit care and caution here. Or here might happen that someone from far can contact you. Some people might have been might contact you here because 12th house is the far lands house. And 12th house is also house of past. You might be finishing something here, some documents, dealing with some past errands, let's say. And 12th house is the house of surgeries. Better to postpone it if possible. Here, no plastic surgery especially. But of course, if there is an emergency, we don't look at any Mercury, we do it, right? But if it's possible to postpone the planned surgeries, then better to do so. Next, second Mercury retrograde will happen from August 5th until 28th of August in your 5th house. 5th house is the house of love and kids. Here you might be running some errands related to kids, like kids kindergarten, maybe reapplication again, reapply, redo some documents, or schools. There are schools as well. Here, 5th house, because it's the house of love. Our ex-partners, ex-lovers might contact us a lot during Mercury retrograde in our 5th house usually. And 5th house is also house of business. If you own a business, then, expect some delays or postponing, changing the deadlines a little bit here might happen. Postponing the projects might happen as well. And don't open new businesses here, especially for you, Taurus, my dear Taurus, in August, because it's in your 5th house. 5th house rules businesses. And Mercury, during Mercury retrograde, opening new business, it's, you will redo it again. Okay, and the last retrograde of Mercury will happen November 26th until 15th of December in your 8th house. So here, 8th house is the financial house. I wouldn't advise you to buy any shares or financial instruments like cryptos or any financial instruments actually, because 8th house rules those things. And here, what is good to do is good to return money if you owe to someone, or to close the loan. It's also good. And you might have been doing so actually during this time in the, almost last month of the year. And 8th house is the house of conception. I don't advise you to do IVs in vitros. Not advisable at all. So because Mercury is like a, how to say, no surgeries, no go. I don't advise you because then you might redo it. And I would like to move to Venus. Let's talk a little bit about Venus, our lovely planet of love, beauty, and money. And let me tell you happy news. Venus will not retrograde this year. So it's in full force, showering us with beauty and love and money. So when Venus is in our sign, we all love that. Why? Because then we feel that we are shining, like we are star, like we are magnet, we are attractive, and it's easier for us to convince anyone to anything. So use that time. Let me tell you when it will transit your 1st house. From April 29 until May 23rd. Wow, almost your birthday. Most of Taurus should catch it. So you will be shining your birthday month, dear Taurus. And you must use it wisely this time. You will be, in love with life. Also, we love when Venus in our 7th house. We might receive a lot of presents, especially from our established sweetheart or spouse, because 7th house rules relationships, but all long-term and solid relationships. Also, business relationships are great here, so you might sign contracts because Venus is the planet of money as well, and it might give you good money out of those contracts. Just be mindful that it will not be overlapping with Mercury retrograde. Let me check. September, October. No, it won't be overlapping. So for you, it's a great time when Venus in your 7th house from September 23rd until October 17th to sign some contracts, to open that business of your dream. It will for sure bring you money and flourish. And at last, I would like to mention one interesting conjunction that will happen during February, March, and April. So for the most spring, let's say, your North Node that I said transiting your 12th house will conjunct Chiron. Chiron is this, it's a mythical creature from Greek mythology. It's called teacher or wounded healer. This creature has interesting appearance. It's a half horse and half human. And conjuncting your North Node in your 12th house, 12th house is the house of surgeries. If you have a surgery planned around February, March, and April, then it will be perfect. Don't worry about it, because Chiron brings healing. It will bring faster healing after surgery, and during the surgery, it will, overlook it and will make sure that everything goes smooth. 12th house is the subconscious mind house. It's about traumas. It's about, childhood wounds, and you might finally, heal, or you might find someone to heal those wounds of yours if you have, or teacher who will help you, or a specialist, professional like psychologist, or someone who will help you to overcome your fears and to heal those traumas, let's say. It's a very good placement here. Chiron might bring you this. Also, 12th house is the house of, loss. So here, it again can bring you healing. You will finally make peace with, let's say, with the situation, and it might bring healing. And loss here might be, weight loss. So here, if you've been doing some surgeries or going through some rough path, let's say, and fighting your fat, let's say, then it will bring you much weighted healing, and you will be very happy with the result. 12th house is also far lands. You will get along with someone from your past, because 12th house is the past, house of past, or someone who are far from you. If you had some, not good relationship with someone for a long time, who are far from you or who are from your past, let's say, then this conjunction might bring you finally peace, let's say, between you, between each other. And also 12th house, you might find some lost things. If you have been thinking that you lost some things or people, again, it might help you to find it finally, and you will be happily surprised, let's say. Now, I think this is what I wanted to say to you today, and I wish you the very, very best 2024, my dear Taurus, and the universe will make it for you that way. Believe in the universe and in yourselves the most. Okay, bye.